Hey, what's happening, guys? Mike from Meta Comics coming at you again with another comic book review. Today we're going to be talking about Walking Dead number 129. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. The story, this issue, basically centered around Rick Grimes taking his son Carl up to the hilltop to allow him to find his role in this new world, to be of use and of value. That's basically what the whole story focused around. There was a few conversations here and there, one between Rick and Negan that was very interesting and intense, and some really good developments that are the cliffhanger for this issue, so I'm not going to go into those. But basically, Rick and Carl have some good father-son bonding moments in this issue, and we get to see another side of Rick that we don't get to see too often. And that is his struggle between being a gracious, humble, kind leader and then being much more authoritarian. And that was pretty much the gist of the issue. And overall, this issue was solid, very good. It's really hard to review Walking Dead books because they're usually just very good. They're very solid. It's hard to find an issue that's really, bad. So. But, that being said, there was some things I liked and some things I didn't care for. I really enjoyed the good father-son bonding moments with Carl and Rick, talking about girls. Carl's kind of got a possible love interest that they're brewing up there that I think, adds some depth to Carl, as well as, the depth of the relationship between Rick and Carl. So, it was really cool to see them talking like that, like two normal people, like a father and son do. Like I said, that conversation between Rick and Negan was awesome. It definitely seems like it's setting up another confrontation between the two, where Rick will have to make a decision about whether or not to let Negan live. At least that's what I think, in my opinion. Yeah, seeing Rick kind of bust out the authority on someone who wasn't doing their job, was kind of interesting. You have to read it to really understand what I'm talking about there. The cliffhanger was excellent. There's a lot of good character development, as always. That's like the central focus of this series, is the character development. There's not a lot of zombie action, really, honestly, that takes place in most of these issues. It's basically how the survivors recreate society and how they move forward after what they knew to be society collapsed, and how they rebuild that or create something new. So that's really what the book's always been about, and this issue just continues that same thing, pushing these characters into different places in their life, because that's what happens to real people. We all get pushed out of our comfort zone as time goes on, and we enter new phases of life, and that changes our character some. So they continue to do that here and move the plot forward some. Some of the things I didn't like was the pacing was a little slow in this issue, which is kind of typical of Walking Dead books anyway, so that really wasn't too much of a detractor. There was very little action in this issue. There was a little bit of seeing Rick Grimes lay down the smack on some zombies, but nothing, really that stood out as anything spectacular. The other thing is, I'm just really getting tired of the whole Negan thing. I'm really ready for them to bring in somebody else new who's a villain of sorts for this series, because I'm just done with him. I mean, it's been going on forever that they've had this guy in the series, so I'm just ready for them to find some way to kill him off and move on. That being said, I give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. It was very, very good. That's really all I can say about it. I mean, it's just a solid effort. Everything is just right up to standard that I'm used to seeing from Robert Kirkman and this book. So, yeah, another great solid issue. Alright, guys, I will catch you in the next review.